Look at this crap. Look at it. This is my life now. Water bottles who I've been drinking and just leaving here and then just refilling. I have another water bottle over there. Man, cameras, films, which I have developed and I have not had time to put back on their holders. Man, my life is a mess right now. It's been, oh God. I knew that when I was getting into a PhD it was gonna be hard, but I had no freaking idea it was gonna be this hard. Like, I had no way of telling. I consider myself a reader, like a good reader, like I read a lot, but man, this is like miles away from what I usually read, like the amounts of stuff that I have had to read. Just consider this. This is a book on theory of literature, right? And it's, let me see, it's, how much was it? 700 and almost 80 pages long. And I had to read this supposedly in 1 week. That's impossible. I read it in 2 weeks. I started early. And I read it in my way, because I traveled to Chile. That's one thing that happened too. Hello, I haven't seen you in a long time. I went to Chile for a few days. Literally a few days. I left New York on a Thursday evening and I arrived on a Friday morning, and I was there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I arrived to classes on Monday morning. That was a short trip. That was an intense trip. I wanted to go to Chile, and yeah, I needed to go to Chile because I was with Tenemos Explosivos, the band that I sing in. We had a few dates already arranged before I got into the PhD program. So when I got in, I was like, okay, that's pretty good. Thanks for accepting me. But I have to go to Chile for 1 week and then I might miss one class. And they were like, okay, just be sure not to miss any other class at all. And I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. So I hope it doesn't happen at all. So I brought this book to Chile and I read it over the course of the weekend. I advanced up to like half of it. And then when I arrived, I finished it. But this the kind of stuff that I've been doing is just reading and reading nonstop all the time. And it's not only reading. If it will be just reading, I could say, hey, you know, my sister told me, hey, you could organize yourself with some classmates and everybody reads a little portion of the text and then you all share what does it say. But it's not about that, since it's about theory and critique. You have to have your own opinion about the text. So if somebody tells you what the text is about, and you say, okay, I think it's about this, it's very hard to have an opinion over what the text is about, because it's usually how it's written, or the examples that it gives, or the path of the argument. That's what usually we discuss in class. So it's intense. It's my 3rd week. I haven't talked to you guys since I got in. I started my classes on the 4th of September. And man, it's been intense. I'm taking 4 classes. I'm taking the MA seminar, which is like the main thing. I'm taking Shakespeare in America, which is about these 2 books plus readings. But man, this is a really interesting course so far, and I've been enjoying it greatly. It's basically a history of Shakespeare, how it's been represented in the U.S. It's deceptive because it's America, but it's actually the U.S. I know people in the US say America referring to our country, but to me America is the whole continent. And I have some classmates, I mean, there's people from other parts of the world, and when we read this, we're like, oh, that's cool, they're gonna talk about Shakespeare in whole America. But no, it's actually explained on the preface of the book. Like, I'm sorry it's called Shakespeare in America, but it's actually about United States. It's a really interesting book. I am enjoying it a lot. It's just a compilation of texts, and this is like the history of Shakespeare in America. I don't know, man. Like, that's the 2nd class I'm taking. I'm also taking one about theater theory, and another one about film and law, which is how law is represented in film and what's the connection between law and film as as regarding narratives more than anything. Like, how does a narrative is important in film, and how is a narrative important in lawmaking or the law itself in a courtroom and whatnot. So those are the 4 classes I'm taking, and I am swamped. I am completely over my head with this. It's like the video with the Leica M8. I shot it, I guess, the 1st week I arrived to New York, or probably the 2nd or 3rd week. Yeah, probably 3rd week. I'm lying. So I shot that, and I put it on the back burner and said, okay, whenever I need another video, I'm gonna use this one. When I have no time to do anything, this is gonna be like my safety card. And I already used my safety card, and now I have nothing. And like, next week is coming, and I'm completely empty. and I have no time to do absolutely anything. There is no time to go outside. There's no time to... I'm reading all day, every day, from Monday to Monday, since I wake up until I go to sleep, except now that I'm taking a few minutes to shoot this and tell you what I'm doing. But it's been excessively stressful just to know that I have to update the YouTube channel. And I don't want to leave you like hanging over there, like, oh yeah, Eduardo used to have a Patreon and it used to be really important, or he used to create content for us and now he's just doing nothing. Well, I'm doing a lot of stuff, but I'm just not posting it because I don't know, I don't use my social media in such a personal way, like telling what I'm doing and whatnot. I'd rather tell you guys because I feel like I can talk to you and have like a sincere connection with you and tell you what I'm doing, and it's gonna be fine. But I don't feel comfortable posting about it everywhere. So I haven't told much about it, but it's been so intense. And okay, let me share you a few little things. Since this is my time with you, I'm gonna tell you how I feel currently. I feel it's weird. I feel like I'm at a big disadvantage regarding language when I'm in class, because most of my classmates are native English speakers, or they already did their undergrad in the US, so they're pretty fluent on the language. I don't think I'm not fluent, but I'm not as fluent certainly as they are, and it's hard for me to convey my ideas in a like out of the blue, or when they ask, hey, what do you think about this, and to make a cohesive argument from start to finish, and not actually forget the words or feel too clumsy about it. It's really, really hard. At least for me it is. So the only way that I found that I can try to fight against that and fight against my feeling of not being assertive enough is to talk. So whenever the teacher asks, hey, what do you think about this? I talk in class. So I feel like I talk too much, but there's nothing I can do. I have to put myself in a position of vulnerability and to be exposed to this uncomfortable feeling of talking silly things or being dumb. Yeah, I feel dumb all the time. Like I feel dumb, and I feel like everybody knows what to do except me, which is not exactly imposter syndrome, where I feel like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And what it's like, there is a game that everybody is playing, and I am not exactly in the game, or like there are rules that the rest knows, and I'm like trying to follow some kind of untangible lead. That's what I feel. That's what I feel all the time. So it's a weird position to be in right now, but that's where I am. So on top of that, I have this, like, I want to put some shelves in here so I can put my cameras, and I can organize this and make this a nice space so when I shoot my videos, it can be an interesting background and not just this white thing. But I have had no time to do that. So I'm facing myself with the problem that I want to make things, but I don't have the time, and then I feel guilty that I don't have the time, and then I have to make the videos, but then I don't have the time to actually go shoot, edit, like develop the film, scan the film, edit the video, upload it, put the subtitles. Like, it's a lot of time. I used to be able to do it no problem, because that was it wasn't the only thing that I did. That certainly is not the truth, but I was doing other things, but nothing so time consuming as what I'm doing now. So here's the thing, and this is what I'm telling you. I don't exactly know what the shape of the channel is gonna be now. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to upload every week. I haven't done it. Like, I'm uploading every other week. That's one thing. Probably that will be the new schedule. Every other week I'm gonna try to upload every week, but it's proving to be really hard. And the other thing is, and this is kind of important too, I am not feeling in a street photography moment. I don't feel... Is this weird? Since I moved to New York, I don't feel interested in street photography. I don't feel welcome to do it in here. I knew that was a feeling that I had when I visited last time. I came with the... Which camera was it? The OM... It was the OM, the Olympus OM, yeah, with the 50mm 1.4. I remember that I shot an episode with the black and white, and I didn't like the results, so I brought the camera over and said, I'm gonna shoot another episode with color film and see if it works. And I was unable to finish the roll. I felt unwelcome to take pictures in here. street photography pictures, and that feeling has not left me. I don't feel welcome doing that. And so it's not as easy as it was like when I was in Hastings, where I just grabbed my camera, went outside and take a bunch of pictures and come back home. It will take me like, I don't know, part of the morning to do that. But I don't feel like doing that in here. Like, certainly where I live, that's not an option. I'm in Harlem right now. It's Manhattan, but it's the beginning of Harlem, pretty close to University. So I don't feel welcome shooting like outside right here. One other places I can go down, I can go to a city center, but then I feel like everybody's doing their own thing, and the way in which I approach street photography usually, which has to do with empathy and trying to connect with the person, or like steal an image and then smile and make like something that is not invasive per se, even though it looks like on the videos like I take a picture and I leave, but in reality there's a lot going on more than that. But I don't feel like that happens in here. I don't feel like that's certainly a clear option to me, at least. So I'm drifting away from that, and I think I'm going to start making more sessions and more organized photo shoots. So in that regard, this month's camera is this one. This is the EXA, the IHG EXA, and it's a nice camera. It's one of those cameras that you have to look from the top. I had one of these. I mean, I didn't have it. A friend of mine, when I was living in Berlin, he bought me one of these cameras, and it was sold to me in a market, but it wasn't working. I bought it in a flea market, and I tried with one roll of film, and it wasn't working. So I was really sad about it, and I did not thought anymore about buying one of these until I saw one for sale on the internet, and I was like, oh, this is exactly what I want for the next episode. Because it's a really slow camera. It's not really a camera designed for street photography. Actually, the fastest shutter speed is 150, so it's not a street photography camera, but it's a nice camera to carry around and have like time. When you have time, this is a nice camera. And it has a connection for the flashes. So I haven't tried the flashes yet, but I will certainly do, because I have this stand, well, I mean, where the light is now. Here's a stand, and I want to use the stands and some soft boxes and make a session with this with somebody. But I have to arrange that session. I have to organize it and call somebody and say, hey, should we meet? And then just grab my stuff, go there and shoot the pictures and come back. So I haven't had the time to do that, but I certainly will. At some level, somehow, I want to make a session with this camera. And that's one thing that I've been thinking about. Like, I will probably start making more sessions or take pictures on concerts or things that I feel are more into the area of photography that I'm feeling more connected right now, that I feel more inspired by. I really want to make more sessions, because the city has a lot of nice places that you can use as backdrop, or create scenes where other people are walking and whatnot. Like what I did on the Kyle video with the Yashica A, I guess it was. That was a nice experience. I think I want to do something like that more often. I hope you're fine with that. That's where I am right now. I mean, this is where I am. This chaos, this horrible mess, this is where I am. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to find my way around and navigate this. One other thing that I did in Chile, and I want to talk to you, and I will eventually make an episode about it, is this. Is this. I purchased a Lomo LCA 120. Man, this was an expensive camera, but I've been wanting to have this camera for so long. And I purchased it, and I want to make a review about it. I already shot one roll. And I want to shoot another one, at least 2 or 3. I mean, you know how I am. I want to shoot a lot of film before making a review. The problem is I'm running out of 120 film. I have this one. I have a few others. I brought them from Hastings, but I'm running out of 120. And my black and white developer is about to expire, so I need to make a new batch and shoot a lot. So that's where I am right now. I want to try this camera and give you my impressions. Yeah, and also like talk about the EXA. Those are 2 cameras that will pretty soon be shown on the channel, but that's how things are at the moment. I'm sorry about doing this. It looks, there you go. that's where I am right now. These are the two things that I'm mostly concerned with and trying to come up with. I'm gonna make the photo critique probably tomorrow or on Sunday, and then it will be available on Monday if I'm not mistaken. I have 3 books to read for Monday and Tuesday, so I need to catch up on my reading. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. As soon as I press stop on this video, I'm gonna start reading. I'm sorry it's shot on my iPhone and it's not on the super on the Canon EOS M, but I realized it was gonna take me too long to connect the external monitor and just do everything around. It's just a news video, guys. It's not. I know I should put more quality into everything, but just forgive me for this time. I am really over my head. But this is not the end of it. Don't worry. I'm gonna still be posting stuff. I hope I can make the video of the X this week. Otherwise, I'm gonna try to make it during the week, but I'll try to make it as soon as possible. I'm gonna make the raffle anyway. So for all of you who are in the raffle, don't worry. I'm gonna do the raffle anyway and just give the camera away as soon as I finish the video. So that's what's happening. I hope you're fine with all of this. I hope you, I don't know, man. It's an intense ride, this one, of having a PhD. For those of you who don't know, I guess all of you know, but it's a PhD in theater, which in reality it's a PhD in theater theory, which is part of the English language department and the philosophy department. They have this weird child, which is the theater department, which is not connected to the practical side of the theater department, meaning has nothing to do with dramaturgy or directing or playwriting. It has to do with theory. So that's what I'm doing. I'm focusing solely on theory and what does it's more an academic thing. It's certainly academic. It's to become a teacher and to have an academic point of view, which is something that I was heavily lacking because I've been practicing and making theater for years. Like my first professional play was staged in 2004, and it was like in the most important theater in Chile. And since then, that was 14 years ago. So I've been doing this for 14 years, like staging all the time in Chile, Mexico, Argentina, in Germany, whatever. So now I'm just settling and deciding, okay, I'm gonna focus on getting a lot of information and opening my head to new ideas, discovering new things, disagreeing with my classmates too. Like I don't want to feel indoctrinated into anything. I'm too much of a critical person to feel like I want to be fed information. So I'm always skeptical about stuff, but at the same time trying to engage with it, or at least at some level try to understand where it comes from so I can have my own perspective. I think that's the most important thing of any kind of academic endeavor. That's what I'm doing. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how this will feel in a few years' time. I don't know. This is a ride, man. This is a ride, and I'm so glad that you're with me. Because right now I'm just, I don't know. It's like when you jump on the roller coaster ride and it's beginning and it's going up, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be fun, and then it goes down. Like I'm right on the moment when it goes down. Like ah. So I've been this 3 weeks. I feel like I'm just starting to go down on the thing, and then at some point it must go up and start spinning, and it's gonna be fun, it's gonna be confusing, and I'm gonna have to juggle around a lot of stuff. But right now, man, I'm just going downwards at full speed and I have no freaking clue what's gonna happen. So yeah, just to summarize, it's all good. I'm just really tired and really swamped on stuff, but I'm gonna be fine, don't worry. I've been worse. In 2013 I was writing, I was staging a theater play. I was writing for a channel in Chile. I was writing a series. I was giving 3 lectures on one university and another lecture in another university, and I had a blog that I had to upload, and I had like a lot of stuff going on at the side. So I had to meet my friends, and I had the band. So if I survive 2013, like the end of 2012 and the beginning of 2013, I can certainly survive this. So don't worry. I have had worst periods of my life, but this is certainly up there. This is like top 2 probably so far. If this keeps going, it might become top 1, because at least in those days, I was giving lectures and organizing classes, but then once that was done, it was done. And here it's like all the time I have to do things. But I'm fine. I'm gonna be fine. And yeah, the raffle's coming. New videos are coming. Those are the 2 videos that I want to do. I also want to make an X-Pan review pretty soon. I don't know when. All these are the things that I want to do. So the EXA, Lomo LCA, and the X-Pan are the next videos that I want to do. If you wanna see any video in particular, just let me know. Drop it in the comment section. It will be good to know your impressions. If you have any doubt, or hey man, I really like when you made this video about this camera, could you do another, or could you go deeper into that thing? I've been thinking about making a revisit to the Nichica N8000. Man, that camera has skyrocketed in price. That's crazy. Yeah, those are the things I want to do. So I hope you're okay with that. I hope you're fine. I'm sorry for the mess. I'm sorry for all of this, but you know, I'd rather be honest. It will be really dishonest to turn on the camera and just organize this mess and say like, hey guys, it's been an intense week, but let me tell you about what's happening on the channel. That's not me. If you subscribe to this and you're supporting this, this is the real deal. This is what happens all the time. This is my life. So welcome to my life. I'm glad that you're here. And I'm actually not wearing pants, in case you were wondering. I'll see you next time with the next video, and I will put the photo critique pretty soon, and I'll make the raffle, and I'll stop talking. I'll press the stop button right now.